Hey everybody, I'm Justin from Toolpath, and this is Chips and Tips. And with me today is Lauren Fahey. She's going to tell us all about her experience with a small desktop CNC machine. But first, let me give you a minute to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lauren Fahey. I am a mechanical engineer. I currently work as a manufacturing engineer for a space startup, and I just love making things. So, as you said, I have a desktop CNC, sort of have a little maker space in my apartment with my roommate. So we've got laser cutters, 3D printers, a bunch of everything. So just love
Wow,
working on projects.
that sounds like a cool roommate. Yeah.
Yeah.
My roommate tolerates my habits. She's my wife, but she doesn't usually participate here.
Yeah. You got to find a bunch of engineers to room with. I think it's the way to go.
All right, Lauren, you have one of the best personal websites I have ever seen. And right at the top, it says that your title is Professional Badass.
Okay.
How do I get certified as a professional badass?
I don't know. I gave that title to myself, but it sort of came with like a lot of the random things that I do. Besides like making stuff, I'm also very active outside. So the badass comes from I did wing walking one time where you actually like
No,
walk on the wings of a biplane while it's in flight, which is probably the craziest thing I've done. But like I'll also go bungee jumping or skydiving or paragliding off a mountain. So that's sort of
whoa,
where the badassery
no.
comes from. But I do think like all the engineers that I know, there's like a level of like doing insane things. So that's probably where it comes from.
Man, I feel like your friends are cooler than my friends. Wing walking. I'm not expecting us to go there. Now, was it a Pitts?
It was a Stearman, like a
Wow.
1940 something Stearman.
And you had a
So it
parachute?
was so it was like a full day course, sort of like training where you are doing it on the ground over and over again to like get muscle memory. Cause like you don't really think while you're up there doing it. And then you've got like one small safety cable if you fall off. But it's really like 3 points of contact on the airplane the whole time. And
Oh,
like they're
okay.
not going to let you go up unless like you can demonstrate that like you've got it down.
I see. I see. My
Yeah.
one and only jumping out of an airplane experience was very different than they didn't seem to care how crazy my requests were.
Yeah.
Who that?
Nothing to do with the engineering CNC, but like it's a fun side quest.
Yeah. Well, I will certify that that makes you a professional badass. And sadly, I don't think I will ever achieve it. So
Yeah.
you got me there. Okay. You and I have somewhat similar histories. We both engineering background, worked for NASA, and now have found ourselves in the manufacturing world. I believe you do a lot with optics, right?
Yeah. So I used to work at Caltech with the Astronomical Research Group. So we were designing instruments for scientific telescopes. So they do a lot of work with Palomar Observatory, which is near San Diego, stuff for Keck in Hawaii. We were leasing a dome at Kitt Peak Observatory for a period of time. So a lot of the optics came from like the instruments there.
And you hand ground mirrors for a cardboard telescope?
So this was actually, I do a lot of classes for fun to learn. So like, because I was involved with optics for work, I was looking at like what kind of things I could learn to like better understand what I was working with and get a better appreciation for it. And one of the community colleges in Torrance, El Camino City College, has an astronomical optics class. And that actually goes through the whole process of grinding and polishing glass by hand. And that results in like a 6-inch telescope mirror. So took that whole class. I've got a mirror. I'm at the point where I still need to luminize it and then build up the base. So right now it's a cardboard tube just for the alignment purposes, but I'm planning on actually bringing it further and doing like a better mount and everything. And it would be nice to end up with like some tracking and some mounts for my camera and stuff like that. But like it's a long-term work in progress.
This is probably a not reasonable request. Can you give me like a 1-minute summary of how you grind a lens?
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
So, this is like hard. There's like a whole process. You start with like really, really coarse grit and you work your way down. So you do like these different wet cycles, where you're sort of like spinning the mirror and you're spinning yourself and doing sort of like a V-shaped pattern. And you're working your way down to grit size till you get about like 3 micron size grit. And that takes like multiple hours. And
Are
like
you
you'll switch between the tool and the mirror being on top between
okay?
these as well. And then once you get to that point, you'll polish it with some polishing pads. And then you switch over to using a pitch slab. So pitch is like I'm probably not going to do it justice in like describing it, but it's sort of like a tarry sap sort of mixture. And what you end up doing is like scoring sort of like a crosshatch pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And then that never really, not dries, but it sort of never really takes like its full shape.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're polishing the mirror at this point, like the shape is constantly changing so that it matches that curvature. And you get it very, very close to a sphere. And then at that point, you start looking at it on a tester. And we did like a Foucault knife edge test. So you look at it with like a laser light and you're looking at the different zones of the mirror. And you'll take like a measurement with a dial gauge. And you're trying to like null out certain areas with the light to get like a measurement of what the curvature shape is. And then that will go back to what stroke you end up doing to either get it like wider or more curved until you get like the parabolic shape that you're going for. And it's like very, very fine tuning at that point. So like in total, I think I spent about 66 hours on this telescope mirror, just like sitting there doing like V and W strokes.
Wow.
But like it was a really fun learning experience.
I'm gonna have to see if I can hook you up with somebody that does diamond turning.
Yeah, I would love that.
It sounds a lot like making a flat plane, but infinitely harder. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. So you went to school, you worked for NASA, you did this lapping thing, and you now work for?
I work at a space startup in Long Beach.
Okay. A space startup.
Yeah.
And so you are helping to make parts that go into space.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay.
Very soon.
Is it your job to yell at the engineers who put ridiculous flatness tolerances on everything?
Yes, I do go through drawing reviews and try and open up those tolerances because, like, sometimes you really don't need a 10 micron tolerance on a hole.
I almost always call out like ridiculous flatness tolerances when I'm talking to engineering students. And I use the example of a heat sink, and I'm like, you don't need this heat sink to be perfectly flat. Stop putting this ridiculous tolerance on it. You're just going to slather it in thermal paste anyway. But I was talking to a college friend of mine, and she said, well, we needed this one to be really flat because it's going into space. You can't use thermal paste because it'll boil off. I was like, I got schooled. But then, like, weeks later, I thought of a snappy comeback, which was, you still shouldn't be specifying such a ridiculous flatness tolerance. You should be lapping your heatsink onto whatever surface you needed to remove heat from. But I guess space heat sinks are the one situation where I will tolerate like 1 micron flatness callouts for bendable, flexible aluminum structures.
Yeah. And then like coming from like optics, they'll specify like really, really tight tolerances because it does matter in that world. And you can hit those tolerances. But like for an aluminum panel that's holding something together or like just a cover to something, like you really don't need it that tight.
Right.
Yeah. And then like it saves us paperwork when it comes back out of tolerance. So we don't have to be like, oh, it's okay.
Correct. Yeah, I didn't actually need that tolerance anyway.
Yeah. And that's when you learn that you should have opened it up in the drawing in the first place.
Somebody just like grabs a drill and opens up a clearance hole that was tolerance to plus or minus 2 thou or something.
Mind you, there are some parts that I have like designed or modeled, and I'm so sorry for the machinist. Like it has to be this way. I apologize, but like I understand the amount of effort that you're gonna have to go through for this. I appreciate you.
I think that's all the machinists want. Well, some machinists just want to be angry no matter what, but I think they just want you to be like, okay, I know this is hard and I'm not going to ask you to make it for me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think it's really important to have that machining understanding as an engineer so that you're not just like making things and then expecting someone to go like actually build it for you.
I have some friends who teach machining curriculum at university. And I told them that I thought the best way to teach engineers about manufacturing would be to make the seniors machine the freshmen designs,
I think that is a great idea.
right? And just like they'll be so angry at those damn
Yes.
freshmen.
Yeah. But that's how you learn.
Right. Yeah. I
'Cause
think
there's
that's
definitely things where like I've had to like machine it, and like I think about it when I'm modeling. It's like, okay, how would I make this?
Right.
Or how could I make it so that it's easier for me to make in the future?
right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of things you've machined, tell me which machines you've worked with in the past and which machines you work with today.
Okay. So I've done a lot of like, for fun, I like to take classes outside of work, and I've done like the whole machine shop program at the local community college. So that got me a lot of exposure with like the Haas mini mills
Mhm.
and then some of the prototrack machines. So like also the manual mill and lathe, like Bridgeport. And then now I predominantly use like the stuff that I have in my little apartment maker space, which is the Carvera desktop mill. And then I've got like a small, cheap mini lathe. I don't know what brand it is.
7x12 or whatever. The ubiquitous ones.
It's not great. It basically just gets the job done.
It's Artisan Makes on YouTube, I think, has the best series on just like progressively turning that lathe into something like almost usable. It's very,
Yeah.
honestly, it seems like he just likes to suffer.
Okay. We have
So
a joke because this one on this, it's clearly from China. It says spindle speed instead of speed. So you can tell how cheap it is by what the spindle speed is set at.
Speed. Wow. Yeah. I have a benchtop lathe in my garage that I bought before I joined Toolpath. But I was too chicken to buy off of like Alibaba or whatever. So I bought from littlemachineshop.com. Theirs also come from China, but they like put the energy in to make sure that the speed is spelled properly.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of the tools that I've gotten are actually like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and stuff like that, and they're usually like pretty good deal. So, like, I highly recommend just like putting a bunch of filters and waiting till things pop up.
Are you planning to move a Bridgeport into your apartment soon?
Oh my God, I wish I could. So that's kind of why I ended up buying the Carvera in the first place, was like I was getting really sad at seeing all these beautiful Bridgeports on Facebook Marketplace for like $2,000, $3,000. It's like, I could buy that. Like, I'm an engineer, but I do not have the place to put it. Like, I don't have a garage. I rent an apartment with roommates. I don't have the power output to even like plug it in anywhere. So
I will have to help you find a job out in the Midwest. Then you can have all the Bridgeports you want.
Or I need to get like a group of friends that are willing to go in for like a warehouse and just do like a full maker space.
Oh, that exists. Yeah. I know a few of those out there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I would kill to have a machine like that.
like a Bridgeport?
Yeah.
Well, maybe by the time you're ready for a makerspace, we can get you like a Datron or something. Okay, so tell me about how you ended up with the Carvera. What did you look through? What machines did you make? Did you have parts in mind? Walk me through how you ended up with that.
Yeah. So, as I said, I kept looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I see all these nice mill. And I sort of came to terms with the fact that, like, realistically, in the next, like, 5 to 10 years, I probably won't be able to afford a house or, like, have a garage or, like, a more permanent place. So it's like, okay, what can I scale back and do now to, like, at least keep me going? And I realized that a lot of the parts that I was making or just doing on, like, small personal projects were, like, relatively small. So a desktop CNC would work for me. I looked at a couple of different things online. But like it was really a balance of like what items did I want in that mill versus like the price. So like for example, I have used the very small desktop mill that Haas makes for like educational purposes at the local community college. Yeah. But like that's like $10,000, and in terms of like its capabilities, it's like a single tool at a time, and it didn't align with that. And I saw one of the like biggest things about the Carvera for me was the automatic tool changer, like the ability to have 6 different things loaded up and I can just hit go and trust it was one of the biggest selling points in that. I'm trying to think what other ones I was looking at. I know that I had pulled up Torwalks are really nice. They're just kind of big and I don't have the area for it. And then I know I had looked at, I think it's Langmuir or Langmuir.
Marwan,
Yeah, the MR1, which
also
like had
big.
a nice starting price point, but the second you start adding like the enclosure and all the other tools, like the price like shoots up.
Also, you have to fill it with your own with concrete yourself.
Yeah,
And
which
one.
was not like super appealing to me in that. And then to be fair, Carvera also has incessant advertising that just like keeps hitting you. Like even after I bought the machine, I'm still getting ads. So like definitely props to them for that. They got me there. But like I very much enjoyed the machine.
So I mean the tool changer, and it's the only
Yeah.
one, the only desktop one on the market I know of that has a
Currently.
tool changer. Yeah.
And then the other thing I was looking for was because I live in an apartment, I do care about like chips and noise. So the enclosure for that was a big aspect in keeping it relatively clean and in the corner
Versus
and like
like
out of people's way.
like a pocket NC or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the biggest tool that the Makera can handle?
The largest thing I think is a 1/4 inch.
Okay. That's not bad.
It's a 1/4 inch shank. So I guess you could find something that like gets small in there. I've only run 1/4 inches. I think the largest thing I've done.
And what's the RPM the spindle will do?
I don't know if it's like 15 or 1800 is the max.
18,000?
I think. Oh, sorry, 18,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Missing a zero there. Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
I know I've run it at 15,000. I don't know if I've run it at 18.
Okay. All right. I bet you could stall it out pretty quickly with a 1/4 inch end mill, though.
Yeah. Yeah. That one I was running, I think, at like 9,000 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, there'll be more torque down low for sure. I got my first chance to see a Carvera when I was at Open Sauce earlier this year.
Oh, you were there too. Nice.
I was walking around, yeah.
Okay.
And I was just surprised at how long the tool change took. Maybe I did it wrong, or maybe they had it on a demo mode or something. But I just went up to a machine and started like commanding tool changes. I think it took a minute to change a tool. That sound right?
Yeah, it's not that fast
Okay.
because it goes down. It takes some time to unscrew. It'll go back up. It'll go pick up the next one, and then it goes and does the automatic height adjust.
It's doing a threading thing?
I think there's a thread on the top of the collet, or
Oh, okay. Like the power drawbar.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I bring that up because we run a Speedio here at our shop and a Seidel, and the Speedio has like negative time tool changes. Like time goes backwards when you change a tool on a Speedio.
Okay.
It breaks the laws of physics. But the Seidel has, I don't know, let's call it a 4-second tool change or something. It's not awful, but it feels slow compared to the Speedio. And in the automation world, one of the things we talk about is like, is it worth it to do a tool change? And when you start stretching that out to like 60 seconds, it's like, well, maybe I'll just machine the whole thing with an 1/8 inch end mill after.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But on the flip side, you don't have to stand there and wait for it and like manually tool change it. So who cares how long it takes, really?
Yeah. The other thing is like I feel comfortable walking across the room and going to like I don't have to sit there and pay attention and stare at it like constantly while it does that. So I also like listen to audio cues and I know, oh, it's going to do a tool change or whatever. So I might like walk over and just like take a look at it as it starts the next thing. But
okay. So walk me through the sort of owning and using experience of a Makera. Do you provide a tablet? Does it come with its own control?
So
what kind of work holding do you use? How do you program it?
Yeah. Those are a lot of questions. So now I have to think. It doesn't come with its own tablet. I had an iPad that I just hooked up to it with the Carvera controller. You can also run it through Wi-Fi on your laptop, so you don't have to have a physical connection, or you can do it direct with the USB. The nice thing about it is that it downloads all the code directly to the machine. So if like the iPad were to die or the computer were to like go to sleep or something like that, it's still running and doesn't get interrupted with that. And then you can always like plug in the iPad or like reconnect while it's running, which is pretty nice. Work holding, it's got sort of a tooling plate with a bunch of different holes, and the machine itself comes with like a couple of clamps and things like that. I ended up buying also a low profile vise that I can put on that plate to use. I've
Do they make it?
predominant
Does Carvera make that vise?
currently no.
So where'd you get the vise?
I have to double check in the other room, but
Oh, no,
I
that's it.
can. Yeah. I don't remember what brand it was. Profile. See vise. See if I can find it online real quick.
It comes with like a tooling plate on the bed already?
Yeah. I think I got the Inceptions machine low profile vise from West 3D.
Cool. Okay. I'm looking for it. West 3D. Yeah, I see it. Oh, okay. So I see. All right. That's an interesting vice. I like it. Okay, so it's got like a little base plate there, and do you use those little gripper teeth things?
Yes, I have.
Cool.
It
All right,
works pretty well. I haven't used the vise that often. It's only been used 2 or 3 times. Other than that, I have been putting like a wasteboard under my part and then clamping down on the sides and then cutting out from the center of my stock material.
Right. Yeah, like more like a vacuum work holding type thing. Okay.
Yeah, sort of like.
Cool. Okay. Well, you're right. I did throw a bunch of questions at you, so that covers the control.
Yeah, they're still working out. Like the software is constantly getting updated. They have their own CAM software. I don't use it that much. I'm more of a like SolidWorks. I can't remember today. I've been using Fusion 360. I know, and then I've been using the what's the Fusion plugin for SolidWorks?
HSM Works.
Yeah, HSM Works. Sorry, I knew we had a discussion about it, so I've been using that. But their Carvera controller software also has some bugs once in a while. So like I noticed like I do somewhat have to babysit the machine. There's been like a time or two where like it didn't realize it had a tool in the chuck and then tried to go pick up another tool and would just try and like crash itself.
Okay.
Or like the go-to command. So if let's say I break, I've been running really small endmills, so like I'll break one every once in a while. And like, I don't want to sit there and or watch it do the tool pass that's already done. So like the go-to command isn't that smart in that like it'll immediately try to go from point A to point B without like lifting the Z axis. Yeah. So like you can like really like crash it and run it into something. So like there are like little aspects like that like still I'm sure that they're working on and like will get solved at some point, but like it's not the kind of thing where like you can just hit go and then like everything will be okay.
That's true of all CNC machines. Okay. What about probing? Does it have probing?
It does not.
Okay. So how do you set
your
WCS?
There is an auto Z height, but in terms of like setting your X and Y probing, I'll either do like the paper method and handle jog it to the corner, or there is like a small laser pointer in the Z height probe that you can use to line up. If you really care about the tolerance, I would probably do the sort of paper method.
So Op2 can be a little tricky then.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right, well, tell me about some of the things you've made on your Makera.
Oh, I've been doing a lot of fun things. I've been experimenting with like enamel pins. So I have done like the little benchy boat pin.
That's cool.
We love McMaster car, so I've got some little McMaster car catalogs. Oh, it's not focusing. Maybe we'll try this one. It's got some more color.
Wow.
No, it's not focusing. Okay, well, we tried. I had done the Miss Frizzle earrings that I think we had talked about on the CNC. So a lot of these are just like pocketing and then filling it with enamel paints. I had a friend who recently got a dog, so we did some fun little dog tag. Besides that, like my biggest project so far has been I CNC'd a music box, which like I haven't actually posted much about it online yet.
Wow.
But it's got like a nice wooden base. I did not make the cone. This is actually like off of another music box that I just replaced the tool. But like all the brackets and then the barrel itself is CNC'd as well for like index drilling for the holes.
Okay, tell me how you made the barrel.
So that went through a whole process. I first started experimenting and figuring, because that uses a fourth axis. So I bought a bunch of raw stock and drill bits, and I was like, okay, like a typical music box, they drill a bunch of holes and then they insert the pins. So I was trying that out on just like a barrel. And I learned the hard way that it is very difficult to insert like very thin wire. I was starting with like 0.7 millimeter music wire because like it has music in the name and it seemed like the kind of thing that I could do. And I was trying to go for a press fit, didn't really work out. So at that point, I was like, okay, I wonder if I can bond it with like Loctite or JBL Weld or something like that. So I've got like a couple of like different trial things. And like, I just did not like the finish. And I was having a really hard time getting them all the same length where they strike the keys at the same time. So at that point, there were a couple of attempts there. And I was like, okay, what if I just mill the pins directly out of the barrel?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, okay, like let's try something interesting. So I did a test run where I only did like one small section, and I milled like pins. They came out pretty decent.
Okay, little baby pins. Got it. Yeah.
Little baby pins on the barrel. I was like, okay, like proof of concept. I think this could work. So I went ahead and I think I did like an 8-hour run on a part, and it seemed somewhat promising. I learned a couple lessons on this one. One, I had done the pins way too close. I was trying to fit way too long of a song on here. Two, I also did the song backwards. When I wrapped it around the barrel, I switched the high and the low notes, so it was spinning the opposite direction and plucking the pins the wrong way. So I would have to play in reverse. And
like it says like evil curses when you play it forward or something
like that. But like I did learn a lot about like using the fourth axis, setting it up, and trying to get like the detail work on the tool path.
No, that's not.
After that,
that's not on the Makera though, right?
So no, this was on Fusion 360.
No, but what fourth axis?
Oh, it's on the Makera.
Oh, you have a fourth axis for the Makera.
Yes, yeah. Okay, sorry, I should have clarified that. Yes, there is a fourth axis that you can upgrade, that you can add to the Makera.
Wow. Okay. So, okay, hold on.
Yeah,
we're going down a nerd rabbit hole here. I'm sorry.
No, I'm here for the nerd rabbit hole.
How did you model the music tube?
Okay. Going way back, I ordered one of those punch card music boxes.
Okay.
And I figured out the tune on one of the like online music box maker sort of like GUIs where you can like individually click on different things and it'll like play the tune over and over again so you can listen like if it's correct or not. And I figured out the tune that I wanted, and then that will give you like a printout that you can do on the punch card. So I tested that tune on the punch card on like the other music box, and then I took that long strip of paper with all the holes and I transferred that into SolidWorks, and I wrapped that around a cylinder, and that gave me my indexing location for all the pins.
Wow. Okay. I was expecting you to tell me you wrote like a Python script or something that converts music into music boxes.
Would love to do that at some point, because I spent way too much time just like brute forcing this thing. But I don't have those abilities yet.
Yet?
Maybe one day.
All right. Next time you're ready to do that, ping me and I'll see if I can give you a hand.
Sure.
Okay, wait. So now you have a CAD model of your music tube.
Mm-hmm.
What toolpaths did you use? I mean, did you like individually click on contours for every single one of those pins?
No, I did a clearing contour for like the whole area, and it routed around all the pins.
Now, did you do a simultaneous fourth axis, or did you do it in like move and stop and like mill it out and move? Did you do 3+1?
It was a simultaneous, yeah.
Okay, so you have the manufacturing extension then?
I am still a student because I take a bunch of community college classes, and that is where I get my Fusion 360 access from.
Okay, cool. So you used a 3D adaptive clearing to just do the entire thing?
Yeah.
So there's like one click, and that gave you your entire toolpath?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
But you will learn that this did not work.
All right.
As we get further into the story.
Keep going. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, no worry. It's a very long story, because I think I made like 8 or 9 of these barrels at just trying to figure out what would and wouldn't work.
Now, this is a podcast, so what's the rough diameter of that barrel?
It is about 3.2 inches, I think.
Okay, 3.2 inches, and it's, I don't know, call it 3 inches wide too.
Yeah, it's about 3 inches wide.
And that fits in the Makera with enough Z height to machine that out.
Yeah, it's very close to being like the max.
The max. Okay.
In there. And then I was work holding from the inside out because it's too big to fit in the collet.
Okay. Okay, so adaptive clearing didn't work, but you had your brute force CAD model for all the pins, and continue. How did you make this?
So from that to this one, I ended up doing only half of the song and getting less pins.
Okay.
And I was, this one almost worked. What I learned is there's a slight misalignment in my fourth axis or my plate where like my diameter on this portion of the tube is like 0.3 millimeters off from the diameter of this portion of the tube.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So like the pins themselves are slightly skewed, I was having an alignment problem in terms of like putting it in the music box. And then the thought that I had was like, oh, I can just put this on the lathe after I've machined it and like sand down the pins so they're all the same height. But I learned that I guess on one edge, they're like slightly longer than the other. So if I were to do that, I would essentially like erase the pins on one side as it's like spinning in
because
the music box.
Didn't machine the inside of the stock.
Yeah.
Okay. So the outside is not concentric with the inside.
Yeah, it's not concentric. So I did machine the inside on the lathe to try and get it to be concentric, but I'm running on like very small tolerance issues that I'm trying to work in my apartment and not like on a real industrial sized machine.
Right.
So yeah.
Back up a second though. So could you like throw an indicator in the spindle somehow and like tram that fourth axis in? Like, is that possible on that machine?
I don't know if I can throw it in the spindle. I haven't really explored that. Like, I do have an indicator. I haven't figured out how to like
you get it in the spindle,
mount it or get it on there. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Because I've only had the machine 5 months at this point, and like whatever work I'm doing is like just on weekends or whatever time I have outside of work.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Okay, so you grabbed a blank, you turned the ID on the lathe, and now you're grabbing by that ID.
Yes.
And you do that before, and then you put it in the Makera, and you're machining the pins out with an adaptive toolpath. And what size tool?
I think I was using 3.175 millimeter tool that comes with the machine. That's like the workhorse for aluminum clearing.
I need to convert that to moon units.
Okay.
Okay, that's an eighth inch end mill.
Yeah. Sorry, I work in millimeters. I work like cross in between the two, but like I tend to default to millimeters.
In my NASA days, I wrote a piece of software called OpenMDAO, and we built it very specifically to not care what units, like it'll convert units all day long. And so what we found was that it was so good at converting units that people would just write different components of the software in whatever units they wanted.
And whatever they felt like.
And it would go like in and out of metric like 47 times during the chain of a calculation. It was unacceptable. So we ended up having to like turn on offer a mode where you could be like, no unit conversions inside this boundary.
Okay.
Okay, so back up a little bit. You said you figured out that your pin density was too high. Tell me, like, you couldn't fit the tool in between there, or like...
So it wasn't the tool. It was as it's rotating and striking the comb, it doesn't have enough time to vibrate and emit the sound before it makes contact with the next pin in the rotations. That was sort of where that density was too high. And that was me trying to overachieve and fit a whole 40-second part of the song on a 3-inch barrel.
So you need a barrel changing music box to get a whole song in
and
there.
like this one, I actually made it where I can just take out the E-clip and swap out. So I've got like 3 or 4 barrels that I can change for this.
Are you working on a robotic barrel changing system for your music box? No? Okay.
I'm music box out for the time being. We'll see if I get back to it.
Okay.
So anyway, I ended up having so many problems with the toolpath one that I went back to like, what if I go back to drilling holes and inserting pins?
Okay.
And I had a couple of friends suggest, what about earring backings? It's like the earrings that you have. You can get those pretty cheap. They're all the same length. They're pretty uniform. So I ordered some that I think were like 0.7 millimeter diameter. And what I did was I index drilled all the holes. And then this time, instead of trying to insert the wire from the outside in, I did the earring backs from the inside out. Yeah, inside out. And like there's a stopper on the other side. And I epoxied the inside and I end up getting like nice uniform pins.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So I liked that, but like I really miss the pretty tool paths that I got on the previous barrels. So what I ended up doing for the final music box was I still ran the tool path, but instead of having the pins like still there, I had pre-drilled the holes for the indexing just to get sort of like that nice. I don't know how you can see it on the camera, but
I can
like
see it.
I just
Yeah,
think
looks
it looks
great.
so much more artsy.
So the index drilling is on the Makera as well. You threw a
Yeah.
drill in there. Okay. Wow. Okay.
And that was also through Fusion 360 because their CAM software doesn't really support. It can do profiles on the fourth axis, but it can't do any of the other more
Okay.
complex stuff.
Do they provide the post, or does Makera provide the post? Where did you get the
Yes,
Fusion
they
post?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
They also provide the tool library for all their standard tools.
Oh, that's very nice.
For Fusion 360 and HSM Works.
Do they give you feeds and speeds to run?
Yes, it comes with their standard ones, and then you can modify them as you add tools or like figure out something better.
Okay. So it sounds like you had a pretty smooth, I mean, that's not a simple project, and it's a pretty big sized part. It sounds like you had a pretty good experience getting it all going there.
In the end, I did cry many times. It took
No.
7 or 8 attempts. There was definitely one morning where like I rolled out of bed. I had a brand new, I think it was an M4 bottoming tab that had never been used. I had just picked it up from McMaster the day before. And I got up, I started tapping the wall. I think I got 2 threads in. I didn't feel any resistance and it just snapped. And I was like, I'm done. I just went back to bed. I was like, this is not my day. Brand new tap. It didn't even make it 2 threads into the hole. No resistance. It was like, I'm not working.
M4 is not a small tap either.
I know.
I bet if you had called McMaster and told them that it broke on the first hole, they would have given you another one.
Maybe I should try that. It's okay. I had my little tantrum. I took a nap and then I got back and it worked.
Okay. That part is very impressive. And you went through quite a lot to get that music box. I hope you at least play it every once in a while.
Oh,
and
yeah.
enjoy it.
I love it. It's great. I will be posting some more about it online at some point. I just haven't like gotten my act together to like write it down
And all the milled
Share
parts are
much.
made on the Makera there?
all of them except for the
The
cone.
cone. What about the gears on the outside even?
The gears are 3D printed.
3D printed?
Yeah.
Wow.
I would like to try and do something like that on the Makera because I think I could.
I think so. It'd be a little hard, depending on the gear profile, it'd be a little hard to mill a perfect gear, but you probably don't need it to be perfect.
Yeah.
If you could get a gear cutter working on the Makera, that would be very impressive with the fourth axis.
I did order some tooling to try and do that with the fourth axis, but I
Really?
haven't.
Like with the
set it up
modulo
yet.
gear cutter and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
I got something from Australia for, I think, one of their, I don't remember what company it was. It's something I can send you later. It was like a gear arbor for like a small desktop CNC, but it was like an Australian thing.
I got to say that I think you may have pushed this Makera harder than anybody else that owns a Makera Carvera. Makera is the manufacturer, right?
Yeah. You know, I feel like I've seen some like really intense projects. I've seen some people do like things that are way bigger than the size of the machine on Reddit, where like they do multiple ops to turn it, and like some of the other makers are excellent.
Wow. Honestly, the machine sounds far more capable than I thought. I have no idea how accurate it is, but yeah, I'd be interested to hear if you're able to figure out how to get an indicator in the spindle to trim it in.
And I know that some of the people on there's like their Discord community have done like a touch probe that you can fit into the machine. Like there's constant updates and upgrades from other people who have like great ideas. So
Okay.
One of the things that I really like is their Discord community. If you have any problems or anything, post it. There's usually somebody that'll answer pretty quick.
That's great.
They've got a good community behind it.
That's great. Okay, tell me a little bit about the feeds and speeds you run on there, if you could remember them offhand.
Yeah. So I've been running a lot of really small end mills because for some reason I seem to like to suffer. So like some of the detail work on these pins that I had made were like using 0.3 millimeter end mills and like 1/32 inch. So I'm sort of a wimp because I broke a lot of them. So I'm running at about, I think like 1500 RPM and I'm only doing like 1 inch per minute.
Okay. In 1,000
per minute.
RPM?
Yeah, 15. Sorry, did I say 1500 again? I'm just missing zeros today.
That's okay. It doesn't matter when you're going to space. They're not needed.
Okay.
Well,
No, I've got my lovely little graveyard of end mills that I have broken this year. Cool. I have started to err on the cautious side, and I would rather it just take longer and me not have to go swap end mills out and then like restart at a new location.
Welcome to the wonderful world of machining.
Yeah.
Most of the machinists I talk to are like, you know what? I don't need to run this that fast.
Yes.
I just need it to keep running.
I just need it to do its part and come out at the end, and it doesn't have to be fast this time.
0.3 millimeters is pretty small. Have you checked run out on the tool or anything?
No, I have not.
I
I sort of just break it and then let it go.
I'd be curious to hear, like, just throw it in the spindle and put an indicator and spin the spindle and see what the run out is, like, pretty close to the end of the end mill.
Okay.
When the end mills get that small, right, like even a few tenths of run out can be pretty significant.
And like that one, I really only run for like really fine detail work. So like, I think it was like the McMaster at the top of this pin, which this will not focus on. Or like some of the like really fine detail work in like the benchy boat, like up here and stuff like that. But like I tend to use the 1/8 end mill probably the most on that machine.
That's your heavy duty roughing end mill.
Yeah, unless I have to cut a lot, and then I'll step up to the quarter.
Ah, okay. When you change between the 1/8 inch and the 1/4 inch end mill, you have to swap out the collet. Does the tool changer still work?
I swap out the collet. The tool changer still works if I have other tools of the same shank diameter.
Okay.
But the 1/4 inches, most of my tools are the 1/8 inch diameter shank size because that is the standard that came with the machine. So I would just have to build a larger tool library with more
1/4 inch shank
of that diameter.
tools.
Or they do have an adapter bit that you can use to put on the end of the tool that'll work with the other collet, but I just don't have any.
I'm sure that'll have great run out. You don't have to worry about that.
I mean, it's there if you need it. It really depends on the kind of parts that you're making.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds honestly like you're doing some pretty cool stuff with it. Yeah, running slow, like, you know, you're not trying to make production parts with it. Although that does bring me to my next question. How would you feel about a wall of these things being used to produce machines? This is like, in my brain, like I run bigger CNC machines, certainly not big. The machines I have are on the smaller side, but like a lot of parts are just not that big. And I don't know what the accuracy of these machines are, but a lot of parts don't need tremendous accuracy. And so I have this idea in my head of like print farm, but instead of a print farm, like a CNC farm with like tons and tons of these Carvera machines or tons of Bantam machines.
I mean, I would love to see that even personally at work, just for like development parts where you're doing like one off and it's like, I need this today. And like our machine shop is like over expanded on all the other things that they have to do. And like, I'm just the engineer that needs like this small bracket, like right now to go test this out on something. Like it would be great. I don't know in terms of like production level parts, just because of like accuracy. And then I don't know about like businesses in terms of like print farms. Maybe it's a possibility. I've got like a weird thing with print farms and like people just like who don't have any sort of modeling skills or anything, buying STL files off of the internet and then starting their own home business and like printing things and selling them at like flea markets or whatever. I think that's kind of weird in terms of like, you could just make it yourself, but maybe I'm not. Like, it's not my sort of like business strategy.
But imagine you were making, I don't know, these guys right here. My friend Jamie makes these from JSpec Engineering, but imagine you were making like one of these little utility knives, right? There's not
you could definitely run that on a Carvera and be popping these out if you had a wall full of them. So like, I think it works in that sense.
But you probably couldn't tool change the key seat cutter that he needs to do the little undercuts in here.
Yeah.
Because it probably won't accept a key seat cutter for the tool change, right?
I haven't looked into it. Probably not right now, but
somebody will make a tray that'll accept
somebody
them,
will make something that'll fit.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, they do have like the thread cutters and stuff like that that'll fit in that machine. So
thread mills.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing it doesn't do rigid tapping.
No.
So thread milling. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have run a Haas, right?
Yes.
So compare the experience of running a Carvera to running a mini mill.
I mean, in terms of generating the G code, it's pretty similar.
Fusion is
it's
fusion.
Just a different post processor. Setup and tool holding could be the same if you're using the vise. The thing that I really miss in this mill is I can't run it manually. Because, like, I love being able to just, like, cut the thing on the bandsaw and then, like, maybe face off the edge so that I get a nice flat surface with, like, the handle jog on the Haas. And there's no real option to, like, manually run the Carvera in that sense. It's, like, it's not the same as, like, the Haas in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about tool loading, tool setting? I guess setting your WCS is like you're just kind of guessing on the Carvera.
Well, They do have the set point on the edge of the plate, and depending on which, they've got some brackets and stuff that'll locate it, and then they have an additional little probe that I actually haven't used, but I know it comes with the machine that you can set on the corner of your workpiece, and you can use to locate your X and Y. The Haas that I used actually didn't have an auto height probe for the tool.
It didn't have a tool setter? Okay, so the Carvera is nicer.
This machine's actually faster for me because it'll do the auto tool height, whereas like on the Haas, I have to like physically go like lower it and touch off the part and like set my tool heights.
Haas controls
But like that was just particular to that machine. Like I know they make it and sell it.
Yeah. Haas machines are kind of renowned for having easy to use controls, but I bet the Carvera is like in a whole nother league in terms of ease of use.
Yeah.
It's kind of shocking what the modern controls are like and how they use them. I know that, I don't know. It's just sort of weird to me that we're stuck in like 1980s era control interface on CNC machines.
And then like the one thing that's coming from me, like having used the Haas, like the Carvera, you can adjust the feed and speed while it's running, but it doesn't. I haven't figured it out. It doesn't do it immediately when you like add or slow it.
Okay.
Whereas like the Haas, it's like sort of instant when you turn the dial or press the button.
Right.
So like I do prefer that on like the Haas machine versus the Carvera, but like that might just be a software thing that I've noticed in terms of like adjusting mid toolpath.
Yeah, I bet it's a PLC thing. I bet the Carvera is not accepting those changes in the middle of a G-code move. So I bet it has to wait until it processes each block before it updates it.
And the same thing goes for like if you hit pause. If you hit pause on the Haas machine, it's like immediate. It'll stop right in its tracks and the spindle will keep spinning. Yeah. Whereas like on the Carvera, I hit pause and it'll get to a point where it'll stop, but I'm never really sure where that point is.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, when you say pause, do you mean like a pause button or the e-stop?
A pause button, not the e-stop. The e-stop will kill everything.
It'll just shut it off. Okay. Well, that sounds like a cool machine. We have a couple of Bantams at Toolpath. They don't have any tool changers, but they have a much beefier spindle.
Yeah.
Than the Carvera. I don't know if they'll ever add a tool changer. And that was actually where my print farm idea came from. The Bantam guys claim pretty good accuracy on those machines. It wouldn't shock me. They're open loop. They don't have encoders on the axes. I don't think the Carvera does either. I think they're using like stepper motor type stuff,
Yeah,
like a
I
3D
think
printer.
so. Yeah, I think it's stepper motors with like a limit switch and they'll home it. And because I think I've noticed like a drift over time if you're running it and then send it home.
But I was thinking about, I mean, there's lots of people who make like knives or fidget toys or even just like small, like, I don't know, archery components or car components or something. And I was like, well, you know, if you were, I mean, you can buy quite a few Bantams for the cost of like one CNC machine. And you can have a robot like take your stock out of one machine and put it in the next one. So don't tool change, just move your part from op to top. That was where the original idea came from. And like just a very simple, like 3-axis robot, like grabbing your stock. And if you located everything using like pins or something, it could come in and drop the stock and like move it from machine to machine to machine. It's a terrible idea. I can't imagine anybody would actually implement it.
You could do it if you find a good niche. I think that some of the print farms are sort of oversaturated is I think where I'm like a little hesitant to say.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good business case. I'm just interested in it from like a purely from a technology standpoint. Does it actually, I mean, I don't know. My brother has 21 tools and it cost $100,000. I think Bantams cost like $6,000. So let's see. That's
about the same price as a Carvera.
Yeah. So I could buy, let's say, 16 Bantams. Maybe they give me a deal. Let's say I could buy 20 of them because I'm buying in bulk and they'll give me a deal. So am I better off having, like, from a mental exercise, am I better off having 20 Bantam or one Speedio? I think I'd probably rather have one Speedio when I say it out loud. But I don't know. It's an interesting thought experiment. And I have a feeling that over the next, like if the Carvera seems like wildly successful, and I have a feeling that like over the next few years, they'll keep improving it and you might start to see some pretty small, pretty capable CNC machines coming out there. Speaking of, have you looked at any of the other ones that are coming out?
I saw some of the ones that you had linked to me and I'm actually quite interested in the Nestworks one.
Yeah, it seems a little too good to be true.
It does, because I'm trying to say, like, what stood out to me was the fact that they are advertising titanium alloy, stainless steel, carbon steel, and tooling steel. And, like, I know the Carvera advertises up to, like, aluminum, and I've run aluminum. I don't know if I would try steel. And then was it the coolant that they had on there piqued my interest?
It has coolant? Like mist coolant or something?
Yeah, it's like a mist coolant. Let me see if I can pull it up. The built-in NQL and air cooling system.
Okay, yeah. So probably alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah, Atomized spray works alongside with tool air cooling to instantly dissipate heat and reduce friction. Because like I run everything dry on the Carvera.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really like the thing that really stood out to me was the fact that you can run it manually with like the hand wheel.
Wow, you like the MPG, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm watching the tool change video right now though, and if what I'm seeing is correct, the way this thing tool changes seems not viable to me. It looks like the spindle comes down and threads into the collet nut. I don't know how that could possibly be made reliable.
Yeah. But as I said, like it almost sounds too good to be true. Like just looking at the price and everything that they advertise, like if it works, like sign me up immediately, but also like it just doesn't exist yet.
Right. I am very intrigued by the Pocket NC. I'd like to play around with that a little bit more. I've gotten to use one time. And it had the air spindle, the 50,000 RPM spindle, which would be great for the kind of stuff that you're doing, the really small tool stuff. But man, that spindle had no guts whatsoever. I stalled it with like cuts that I thought would be like totally fine. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting for sure. I do hope that we see an increase in the amount of small mills that come out there. I also hope someday that milling becomes more accessible. I don't think it'll ever be quite like 3D printing is.
Mhm.
Um, but I hope that the same places that start to offer 3D printing offer some mill training too. Or
Yeah.
lathe training would be good too.
And this
Um,
is where I plug community colleges are so underrated. Like people should definitely go out, sign up for a machining course. There's so much out there. In terms of like if you're a student, you can use their maker spaces and just like
well, plug the
work on whatever
specific one.
projects you want.
Which one did you go take the courses at?
I did stuff at Pasadena City College.
Pasadena City College.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to look and see what my local community college offers for machining. They're not far from me here in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm currently looking. I'd love to take a fifth axis machining class, so I'm like shopping around to see what community college programs are around here that would have that as well.
Oh, wow. I couldn't even imagine. That would be
I think
awesome
I
if they
found
do.
2 of them. It's just a matter of like contacting the professor and being like, "Hey, can I like forgo these prerequisites? Because I don't really want to sit through machining 101 again."
See this music box I made?
Yeah. I did this. Can you let me take this class?
Okay, well, I hope they sign you up. If they give you any trouble, tell them to come talk to me.
Sure.
Random guy on the internet will definitely have enough
Oh
pull
yeah,
to get you into that class.
Can I get your signature on a letter of recommendation and I'll shoot them their way?
Yeah. Well, don't be afraid to play the NASA card. That seems to work. I used to work for NASA. Can I come take your machining class?
Yes, yeah.
All right. Well, Lauren, it's been a ton of fun. Why don't you tell people where they can find you online?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember my own website right now. I think it's laurenfahey.me.
That is
then
correct.
on Instagram, I am LEF_makes.
You seriously go visit her website, Lauren Fahey, FAHEY.me. It's one of the best personal websites I've ever seen.
Thank you.
And definitely justifies the professional badass just by the website alone. Man, do I dare play 20 McMaster 20 questions? I feel like I'm going to get wrecked.
I'm totally down for it, but it's been a while.
All right.
Do you want to do the 20 questions or do you want to do the competition to find like the most expensive, least expensive?
Okay, I didn't even find that one. Let's do most expensive,
Okay.
least expensive.
Most
How does that
expensive
one work?
item?
Yeah.
Well, you basically just have like 3 minutes to go on the website and try and find the most expensive part number you can. And the least expensive, it's just like a scavenger hunt I've done with my friends. The thing is,
Okay.
because there is no price filter, like that answer somebody could always come up with something better. But I feel like I have an advantage just because like there's a couple things in my brain where I'm like, okay, I know this is like,
But you can
pretty
buy
up
like
there.
anything on McMaster. All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna try this, but let's do collaborative instead of
Collaborative?
Yeah, because we gotta
Okay.
have to talk through it for the podcast listeners. So like
Sure.
my brain goes to like DSLR or something.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to get anywhere near. Wait. Machine vision camera, high speed equipment monitoring cameras, boroscopes.
What price range are you seeing pop up for the DSLR?
Nowhere near good enough. $1,700, $2,000. That's not going to do it.
Okay.
Titanium, tungsten.
So I know at my last job, we were looking at lifting tables at one point, like the hydraulic ones, and those were pretty up there in price.
Oh, okay. All right. Lifting tables, hydraulic tables. So,
And I know at one point with my friends, like,
oh,
I
wait,
think
come
this
on.
was the most expensive thing that we found.
Come on. No, I mean, I got to be able to use like a carbide drill index or something. And it's like, I bet McMaster will just sell me like a huge drill index for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, so I feel like we were in the 13,000 range with the lifting tables.
Wow, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I do also know that they sell buildings.
Buildings on McMaster?
Yeah, you can get like workspace, like modular buildings. And I have a feeling that that is the last thing that we found is the most expensive.
All right. I have in-plant office building, $16,000.
16,000? Okay.
There's no way that there's got to be more expensive stuff. 12,000. All right. I mean, that's the most expensive I found so far is the in-plant office building for $16,608.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lifting tables and they're in the $8,000 range. So we're already not close.
They're in the $8,000 range.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a spotlight or something.
Maybe.
High temperature hazardous location ceiling lights. None of these are gonna do. Oh, what do we got here? Nope, not even close. Remote location solar powered ceiling lights. Those are in the $5,000 range.
Okay. I'm still looking at the building.
Can we not just order like giant pieces of like titanium or something?
Maybe. Was 16,000 the most expensive thing you just found?
16,800 was the
Okay.
inside modular
building. Okay. Ooh, I don't. They got everything. They got bikes. They've got bathrooms. They got buildings. They got food.
If I buy something by the foot and just type in like huge numbers of feet, does that count?
No, because there's a limit.
Oh, okay. So you guys have already thought of this.
Yeah.
Thermite? Can you buy thermite? No, you can't buy thermite on McMaster?
I'm like wondering how
surprises
much
me.
titanium stock I can get.
Fixture tables. Okay, wait a second. These are going to get pricey. Come on, fixture tables are always expensive.
Fixture table.
Yeah, like welding fixture tables. They're always crazy
Yeah.
expensive.
Adjustable height. It's only $3,000.
What?
I say that like that's not so much.
For a welding table, it's not. That's like the deal of the century on a welding table. Wow.
That's why I'm disappointed by the number I'm finding.
Do they sell cabinets? Can you
They
buy
do.
like blast cabinets or something?
Oh, that's a good idea. Blast. It's more like abrasive.
No, yeah,
sandblasting.
I'm looking for like
no, those are-
explosive containment.
Yeah.
Well,
Boom
here's
boxes.
Here's an automated control abrasive cabinet, but it's only 10 grand.
Only 10 grand.
Yeah.
I don't
Wait.
see boom boxes anywhere.
Man, this is an interesting game.
Do they have like CMM stuff?
CMM measuring machine plates and fixtures.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing like machines themselves.
Fixture plates? Nope.
I just see like tool indicators.
There's like a giant, but it's not going to be like $20,000. I was going to say like some sort of giant thread gauge or something.
What do you think the least expensive item is? But like single quality, you can't buy like 100 bolts and just divide that number.
I don't know. Gum? Snacks?
I don't know. Do they
Nope.
sell single
20
gum?
Who's buying $20 worth of gum off McMaster? What the heck?
I heard that there was like an expensing thing where like if a company sees like McMaster on like the PO, like they think it's like engineering products and it's like easy to like buy toilet paper and food from them and just like have it. I don't know if that's true.
You can buy toilets on McMaster.
Yes, you can.
How expensive do
Try
those
them.
get? Not that bad. Okay. Toilet partitions?
Yes, yeah, you can buy like
That means
the
they
actual,
have
like
they have sold these. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is insane. Yeah. I wonder if you can return a toilet to McMaster.
I like going through their signs once in a while.
Signs.
Like the safety signs.
Okay, I don't know what's cheap. Like a cotter pin or something.
They sell Ziploc bags.
Like single Ziplocs.
I'm wondering if I can find press to close bag. Or like manila.
$1.
Okay,
$1
$1.03.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to beat that. Oh, man. Now I'm going to have to write a Python program to scrape McMaster to give myself a price filter just to win this game.
Let me know. I would love to know what the cheapest and the most expensive thing is.
Well, actually, their press to close bags aren't like completely unreasonably priced.
I was trying manila tags or envelopes. They have envelopes. Maybe those are... These are all quantity 50, though.
I like the most expensive game on McMaster.
You like that one? Okay.
Yeah.
We have also tried like what the heaviest part is, and that's kind of difficult. I think we were looking at like bags of gravel or something like that.
What? Who's buying gravel on McMaster? This
You
is
can buy
unbelievable.
whatever. It's a great company.
They don't sell Swedish. Oh, no, they do sell Swedish
do.
fish still. Yeah. Okay. But they don't offer. Okay. They used to offer a CAD model for the Swedish fish, but they do not offer that anymore.
I don't think I've ever actually seen the real CAD model for the Swedish fish.
I'll get you a copy of the CAD model.
Okay.
I know somebody
I've
who
seen
has
like
it.
fan posted thing.
No, I know somebody who has it still. I'll get it for you.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Okay. So you just crushed me on most expensive. Like, absolutely. I'm not creative enough for this.
This is unfair. This is just because I've played this with my friends before.
Roofing. Wait, can you get a big ass fan?
I hope so.
No, I don't. Okay. If you
Nah.
could, that would, well, maybe not. I don't know.
They have a lot of fans, just not the big ass fan.
Heat exchanger. Oh, air nice. Air nice can be crazy expensive.
Not 20K though, or 16K.
Yeah. Not 16K. Correct.
I could spend hours on this website.
Okay, so the most expensive thing we have found so far is the building, the modular building. 16,000 in-plant office building for $16,608. I am looking forward to the internet absolutely demolishing us here and just giving us.
I would like that.
Okay, Chips and Tips fans, there's your challenge. Find something that costs more than $16,608.00 on McMaster and post it up as a comment on here. Lauren, this has been so much fun. Thanks so much. That music box, like mad props to you. Super impressive that you got that
Thank
done.
you.
Like,
Yeah.
mega
Look
awesome.
out for when I actually post more information on my website on it.
We'll have to get you set up with ToolPath so you can make some stuff with that next time when you're done decompressing from your music box PTSD.
Okay.
Also, if you wanted, I bet you could sell a lot of those McMaster pins. So,
McMaster fit. Oh yeah, these.
yeah, I don't know how
At
labor
some point.
intensive those are, but
Not too difficult. I sort of just pop it in the machine and walk away.
okay, yeah. But
At
then you
this
got
point,
then you
yeah.
got to hand paint.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to see if you can get somebody to design a what am I trying to say? Like a CNC paint dripper thing.
Yeah.
So you can get into full production mode.
Yeah. Just start making enamel pins.
Oh man, I think those McMaster pins would sell, although you'll get sued.
I think I'm going to get a cease and desist, but I would frame it on my wall.
What is
Would
it?
be
It
great.
says I found this on your website. Now, I don't know where. It's McMaster fan.
Oh yeah, that was a joke.
I want to do enough for the McMaster car legal team to be like, "Hey, girl, we noticed you," but not do anything beyond that. So,
Yeah.
why don't we end with that as your stated life goal?
Yes, that is my stated life goal. McMaster Carve, please notice me.
All right. Thanks, Lauren.
Okay, thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.